In Chapter 2, Section 3, we are going to be writing linear equations giving some information. You need to know these three forms for this section and then for the rest of your math career also. So go ahead and write those down, pause it, whatever you need to do, and memorize that, okay? So the first example on page 69, it says write a linear function modeling the line passing through 2, 1, and with the slope of 2, 3. So we could put this in point slope form, which we will for the next example. But there's a faster way. And I don't know why, if we can do it this way, do we need to do point slope form? But when they ask you for point slope form, you got to do point slope form. So what we're going to do is we're going to use slope intercept form. And we are going to put in the information that we have. We have our y, we have our x, we have our m, and we don't have b. So we're going to put the information in that we have and solve for b. So y is 1. Our slope is 2/3. X is 2. And we don't have b. So we're going to solve this for b. So 2/3 times 2 is 4/3 plus b. When I want to get rid of a fraction in my equation, because I don't want to go, oh, that's whatever, a decimal. We're not going to do that. We're going to get rid of a fraction in our equation, and if you remember, you multiply by the common denominator. Well, these denominators are 1, and so the common denominator between all three of these is 3. So now I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So you're going to have 3/1 equals 3 times 4 is 12/3 plus 3b/1. And now I'm going to simplify or reduce. Okay, now I'm going to solve for b. So I'm going to subtract 4. And you get -1 equals 3b. And then divide by 3. So b equals -1/3. Now I'm going to use this information, my b and my m, and put it into this form. So y equals 2/3 x minus 1/3. Now to graph that, it'd be pretty funky because you have to graph a 1/3, but it's not asking you to graph. So that is example 1. Now, in example 2, they're saying to use the point slope form. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Your y and your x stay y and x. The y1, x1, you are going to put a number in that place. So we have 2, 1, and our slope is 2/3. It's the same thing, right, of what we used up there. So, and then this way you can just figure out which way you like it best. And so if you don't have these memorized yet, every problem you do for homework, write it before you start the problem. It helps a lot. So now I'm going to plug in what I have. So remember, this is x1 and this is y1. So y minus y1 equals 2/3 times x minus 2. And we are going to, it does tell us, write it in standard form. So remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So I'm going to now distribute this 2/3. And 2/3 times -2 becomes -4/3. Got to get rid of these fractions. The common denominator is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. 3y over 1 minus 3 over 1 equals 6 over 3 and 12 over 3. So 3y minus 3 equals 2x minus 4. I need to make it in standard form, which means everything with x and y goes to the left side, and everything not goes to the right. So this is going to move over here, and because it's positive on the right, it becomes negative over here. Y is staying on the left side, so it stays positive. This is negative, so we're going to add it over here. So negative 4 plus 3 becomes negative 1. The thing about standard form is the number in front of x can't be negative. So since it is, we're going to change the signs of every single thing to make this positive. And that is standard form. In example 3, it's telling you to write it in slope-intercept form. You have 2 points. You have negative 4/3 and 2 2/6. Okay, we need the slope and we need the intercept. Right now we have neither, but we can find the slope very easily by using this that we used from last section. So we're going to go 6 minus 3 over 2 plus 4, because minus a negative makes plus a positive. 6 minus 3 is 3. 2 plus 4 is 6. So our slope is 1/3. Now we need to find our b. If you remember in example 1, we put a point in and the slope in, and then we found b. You can use any point you want. I'm going to use this. If you use negative 4 and 3, you will get the same answer as b. All right, so we want to do y equals mx plus b. So my y is 6, my m is 1/3, my x is 2, and my b, I have no idea. So now we're going to go 6 equals 2/3 plus b. We're going to get rid of this fraction. Hang on, I messed up. This is 1/2. Will make our life easier. Now, we don't have to get rid of the fraction. 2 over 2 becomes 1. So now we're going to, since 1 is positive on the right, we have to subtract over here, and we get 5 equals b. All right, so now we're going to go y equals, what is our slope? 1/2 x, and our b is 5. That was example 3. There's 2 things you need to know. Parallel lines, and if you forget how to write parallel, there are parallel lines in the word parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope, and then perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Sometimes they say negative reciprocal. So if it was positive, it's going to be negative. If it was negative, it's going to be positive. I like to say opposite because negative sometimes throws you off. So if, say a line has the slope of 2/3, if there's a line parallel to that, it will still have the slope of 2/3. If it was perpendicular to that, it would have the slope -3/2. Okay, so in example 4, if you look with me, it says write a standard form equation of the line passing through -2, 3 and parallel to x plus 2y equals 8. Well, first you need to find the slope. So if you solve x plus 2y equals 8, for y, you will be able to find the slope. So 2y equals -x plus 8. And now I'm going to divide everything by 2. And I'm not even really worried about this part. I'm worried about that part. There's my slope. -1/2 x, and x isn't part of the slope. So it's -1/2. So there's my slope. And then I'm going to use this point and put it into point slope form. And then you can follow along in the book and do that. It clearly says it. It's not very good about how you figure out the slope, where it says determine the slope of the given line, but we did that, and then they just put it back into that slope, that point slope form. In example 5, they say write the slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, of the line passing through 3, 1 and perpendicular to the graph line. So you have to find the graph first. What they did is found 2 points and then use the slope formula. Or you could just count, and it goes up 6 and over 2. And so that would be 6 over 2, and your slope is 3. So if your slope is 3 for the graph, for your new line, your slope is going to be -1/3. And your point you're going to use is 3, 1. And you put it into point slope form. And then but it says they want it in slope intercept form. So once you put it into point slope form, solve it for y. And that's lesson 3.